Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to dive into some ancient wisdom from Zen philosophy. We're going to explore this really powerful idea that finding peace isn't about adding more to your life, but about letting things go, about emptying your mind.
So, does this sound familiar? You know the feeling, right? You're lying in bed, it's the middle of the night, and your brain just will not shut off. It's just running in circles, replaying mistakes from the past, or maybe just spinning out about the future, your job, your bills, your family. If you have ever felt trapped inside your own head, then this is for you.
So let's start right there, with this idea of the cluttered mind. What is all this mental noise anyway? And where does it even come from?
Well, you can think of it like a room that you just never clean. Over time, our minds collect all this stuff. Every single nagging worry, every to-do list, every regret, they all just pile up. And, eventually, there's just no space left for peace or for any kind of clear thinking. It's really no wonder we feel so drained and totally unfocused. And this is where the Zen approach is just so brilliant. Think about your mind like a glass of muddy water. The more you stir it up by worrying and overthinking, the cloudier it gets, right? But what happens if you just let it be? If you just set it down? The dirt settles all on its own, and the water becomes clear. Our minds, well, they kind of work the exact same way.
And that actually leads us perfectly into this classic Zen parable that just illustrates so beautifully why we need to make space before we can find any clarity. It's the story of the overfilled cup.
So the story goes something like this. A very learned professor, a guy whose mind is just overflowing with his own ideas and knowledge, goes to visit a Zen master. And look, he's not really there to learn. He's there to analyze, to debate, and to basically try and fit Zen into what he already thinks he knows.
So the master listens, very quietly, while pouring tea for his guest, and the cup fills up right to the brim, but he doesn't stop. The tea starts spilling over the sides, running onto the saucer, all over the table, and the professor is just watching this, getting more and more impatient, until he finally just can't stand it anymore. He just bursts out, "The cup is full! Why do you keep pouring?" And the master, he calmly replies, "Like this cup, your mind is full of your own opinions and speculations. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup?" And the lesson there is so clear. A mind that's already full just can't receive anything new. Okay, so we get it. We understand why we need to empty our minds. But how do we actually do it? Well, this brings us to 3 simple, really actionable steps that are drawn right from Zen wisdom.
It really boils down to these 3 pillars: practicing stillness, focusing on the present moment, and letting go of our attachments. Let's break each one down. So step 1 is all about finding these small, deliberate moments of quiet. And listen, this doesn't mean you have to go meditate for hours. Just find a space, sit down, and notice your breath. Now, thoughts are going to come up. That's what minds do. The key is not to fight them or get pulled into their drama. Just acknowledge them. A thought about work. And then let it pass by, just like a cloud in the sky, and gently bring your focus back to your breath. And that leads us right into the second step. Focus on the present. This simple Zen saying is just incredibly profound. It's all about giving your full attention to one thing at a time. So when you're eating, just eat. When you're walking, just walk. Immerse yourself completely in whatever you're doing right now.
There's this great story about a young man named Marco whose mind was just a constant storm of thoughts. He was given a task: carry a full glass of water through a super busy village without spilling a single drop. And by focusing completely on that one simple task, all the noise of the village, and more importantly, all the noise in his head, it just faded away. For the first time, he was completely in the present moment.
Now, the third step is maybe the most liberating of all: letting go of attachments. So what are these? Well, they're the grudges we hold, the desire for everything to be perfect, the expectations we have about how life should be. They are the invisible weights we're all carrying around, tying our minds to things that ultimately we just can't control.
So, to really wrap our heads around this idea of letting go, let's explore one final story. It's one that frames all our worries as pebbles that we choose to carry.
There was a man named Arif who was just exhausted by his restless mind, so he went to see a monk. The monk handed him an empty basket and said, "Walk. And for every single worry that enters your mind, I want you to pick up a pebble and put it in this basket."
So Arif started walking, and he thought of past mistakes, failures, regrets, and picked up pebbles. He thought of future fears, about money, his job, being lonely, and he picked up more pebbles. And pretty soon, the basket was just unbelievably heavy. It honestly felt like he was carrying a mountain on his back.
The monk then said to him very simply, "Now, start putting them down." And as Arif released each pebble, he felt his burden get lighter and lighter. And the lesson here, it's so powerful. Peace isn't an absence of thought. It's the conscious choice to stop carrying what doesn't belong to right here, right now.
And really, that's the core takeaway. The goal isn't to achieve a completely blank slate in your head. It's to create a calm, spacious inner world where you actually have room to breathe, to think clearly, and to connect with what truly matters.
This famous quote just sums it all up perfectly. When your mind is empty, and by that we mean free from all those preconceptions and clutter, it's open, it's ready for anything. It sees so many possibilities. But an expert's mind, one that's already full, like that professor's cup, it only sees what it already knows.
So as we wrap this up, I'm going to leave you with this question to think about. We all carry a basket of pebbles. What is just one thing, one worry, one regret, one fear that you can choose to set down today?